So in 1991, I was pressing apples from our apple orchard, and we were actually holding the juice, freezing it, and a family friend stopped out. He suggested we make some apple wine that year. So I went and purchased what was needed. We ended up making 5 gallons of apple wine in 1991. And that kind of kicked off the whole idea of making wine from various fruits, vegetables. Finally ended up really going for a lot more of the grape wines at that point. So in 1997, we were up at a winery in Door County. After leaving that winery, we thought, this is fantastic. We should try to do something like this on our property. So that kind of kicked off the whole idea and the mission at that point. So our vision and intention was to open the winery in 2015. We were delayed a little bit. We ended up opening March 18th of 2017.
Okay.
So we realized we had to have wine as soon as we opened, since wine cannot be made in a month. Most white wines can take 6 months to a year. Red wines is commonly 12 months and more. So we have a good friend out in the central coast of California. He has a 27-acre vineyard 1 mile from the ocean in the Avila Beach area. We ended up going out there in 2013, working with him in his vineyard, and then taking these grapes into the Edna Valley, a few miles inland. And we rented space in a custom crush facility to start producing our first wines. So we continue to work with our friend out there, purchasing grapes from him, producing wines out there. My son Keenan travels out there for each harvest, and I end up working the Wisconsin harvest. So we have started producing as of 2 harvests ago. We opened in March of 17. We had our first harvest in September of 17 of local Wisconsin varietals. So we do, you said one of the signature things we do with most of our wines is we barrel age nearly all of our wines. Now, a lot of people say they don't like a barrel aged wine. We're using neutral barrels, meaning they're 6-year-old and older. Some are 12-year-old barrels. So they're not imparting oak notes into the wine, but they soften the wine. One of the things with our local Midwestern varietals is they are higher in acidity. So you have to work with those grapes to soften them. Otherwise, you're gonna have to sweeten them to soften them. So if we want a dry local varietal, we have to barrel age and do a few other techniques.